Play music for a few minutes. I want you to tap into the energy behind this music. Feel it. Pull it in. Notice how your body feels. Notice how the energy flows around you. Welcome. So we're at dog skills again, the human end of dog training. And it's every week, and the universe has pulled me in a few different directions. So it's a little bit earlier today than what I had been doing in the past. And today is around the energy behind dog training, which we tapped into a few weeks ago. And I thought, this topic is really big. So I wanted to dive into it a lot more with you guys. I think it's such a fun topic, and a topic that I think it really goes amiss a lot in the dog training world. And it's one that just really, really, really resonates with me a lot. And I'm wondering, as you listened to that music, what came up in your body? Did you feel a sense of fluidity, flow, happiness, peace? Did any of that happen for you? I would love for you to comment below. And I think a lot of you guys are going to be watching this in the replay, and that is totally cool. So comment and tell me, what came up for you kinesthetically in your body, or even thoughts as you were listening to that music. Or I think more of energy really dives into how we feel, what sensations we feel in our body. That's where I think it would be important for you to kind of tap in. And some of you might really be good at that already, and some of you it might be totally new. So for all of you, I want you to just think of a time where everything was just flowing and there wasn't any resistance going on in your life, and you were being you, and you felt that sense of you. And I'll give you an example for me. So actually on Monday, I went on a hike, and I love the snow. I live in Ohio, and so we just got a whole bunch of snow. So I'm on this hike, and I'm seeing the snow glisten against the trees, or on the trees, and on all the limbs. And I love breathing in the winter cold air. And I was in this sense of moment. I felt my power in combination with the power of the universe. And I'm wondering if there was a time in your life that you could pull in where you felt like the to-do list was gone, the mind chatter was gone, and you were just in the energy of the now. And then even going, deeper than that is tapping into that higher power. And all of us have a different viewpoint on what that higher power is, and I don't think it really matters. I'm a really open person, so it could be God to you, it could be the universe. I generally like to use the term the universe or spirit. So if you watch my stuff, you're going to hear me say that a lot. If that doesn't work for you, you can replace it with God, faith, or even your higher self. Or even like somebody that you respect. And basically what you're doing is you're tapping out of control, and you're in this place of energetic presence. And when you're training your dog, if you're coming from that space, you're going to get a lot more results, or results that are more fluid, more magical, more congruent than if you're in this push-pull, control, ba-ba-ba type of energy. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. very good. Bop, 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 bop. Right. I want you to tap into the energy, not what you're saying, because dogs aren't attached to what we're saying. They're feeling the energy. Humans feel our energy too, but definitely animals, I mean, they soak it up. So what does that feel like when I'm going to pop, 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 pop? I kind of want to leave. Some of you may have popped off at this point. You're watching the replay. It doesn't really feel like very welcoming. It feels very like I feel a lot of contention and constriction in my body, and it doesn't invite me in to really want to spend time in that energetic field. So when you're tapping into that energetic field, that's what you want to map over when you're interacting with your dog. And you're going to have your ebbs and flows, but the whole idea is bringing in those times. Hold on, something just came up on Facebook. Key frame rate too low. The current key frame rate is too low. Recommended key frame rates are in the range of 1 every 2 to 4 seconds. I don't know what exactly that means. So I'm just going to chance it. It's worked when I've done lives before. So you're tapping in that energetic field, and then you're bringing it in when you're interacting with your dog. And then you're going to have a lot different results. And I really think the easiest way to do that is to bring in that sensation or that feeling from a time in the past that you're familiar with and bring it into the now. You can also think of just pulling energy from the universe into yourself. I mean, there's an abundance of energy, happiness, aliveness, life source energy out there. You just got to tap into it. And once you tap into that, then you're in this place of receptivity and the magic can flow. As the energy flows, the recipient's brain waves and thereby the energy field will synchronize to match those of the healers. The shifting of frequencies to match the affecting waves is called entrainment. So this is from Energy Healing for Dogs, and it's by Nicole Wild. Oh, hi, Ruth. So basically, entrainment is, again, you're tapping into that energy flow within yourself and the dog. Or even it could come from you first. But you're channeling that energy outside of you. You're pulling in that energy of the universe, the spirit, God, faith, the higher power, whatever you want to call it. And then you're bringing it and transmuting it to your dog. So unless the dog isn't willing to receive it, then you're going to entrain the dog to then match your energetic realm. So some of you may have done this with breath. And when I studied, NLP, we would talk a lot about, okay, you can actually get somebody to do something subconsciously. And the whole point of NLP is to use it properly, is to use it to create a rapport and to help someone out. So if you notice that someone's stressed, you can match their breath and then slow your breath down. So you create a rapport with them first, then slow your breath down, and then that person then starts matching your breath. So you could even do that with your dog where, you tap into where their breath is at, you start slowing your breath down, and then you entrain them to match where you're at and bring the energy down, down, down. I don't know. Have you had that experience, Ruth? This is a very deep call. And for some of you, it may, if you do Reiki or meditation a lot, or you're into yoga, or you're an energy healer, then a lot of this stuff might already be, like a no-brainer to you, but I'm sure you're still going to get things that are new for you. If this isn't something that you've tapped into a lot, then the first time you listen to this, it's not going to fully sink in. Like you're going to need to listen to this video multiple times before it's going to reach that deeper level and actually practice this and multiple times to really get to that level. And a simple way that I find for me is meditation. And when I got my dog Seiki, he's passed now, but when I had him, I got him, he was 2 years old. He was bouncing off the walls. I kid you not. Crazy, everywhere, right? So what I did every single morning is I meditated with him. I just sat there and tapped in the energy. Ruth, have you ever done any meditation or meditated with your cats? I'm curious. And the same, again, this stuff applies to all animals. So even though I'm a dog trainer, the same techniques can be used on cats, parrots. I've trained prehensile-tailed porcupines. Because I worked at zoos, so you could do the same thing with parrots, raptors, any animal really. So yeah, so Ruth says she hasn't done anything like that. So it would be interesting to experience that if you're willing to sit down with some music that's relaxing for you and to just do some meditation and allow the energetic field around you to transmute and change, and your animal will feel it. When I got a Seiki, I wanted to do flyball with him, and it's a very high energy sport. So they jump over jumps, and then they jump on a box and do a box turn, they grab the ball and run back over. And it's a relay race. But the dogs get very excited because they get to retrieve this ball, and then after they're done going back over the jumps back to their owner again and their team, they get to play tug. So it's driven. It's like boom, 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 bam, bam, bam. So if you have a dog that's already like, woo, and then you take them into that sport right away and you haven't taught them how to energetically balance themselves to be more grounded, you can create your dog to have aggression problems, fear problems, reactivity problems, and complete over arousal. So when I got him, I was like, you ain't going to fly ball until you learn how to bring your energy down first so you can learn how to be more balanced, because you're way up here most of the time. So every single morning, I was in my bedroom and I meditated with him. And really great music for animals is classical music. I love, gosh, it was Through the Dog's Ear. And now, you know what? I'm going to Google it really quick because I am wondering what it had changed to. Because it's a different website now. Oh yeah, it's iCalm. Okay. I'm not screen sharing today. I just wanted to keep it simple. So and then CALM, Calm. And there's free downloads on there. And the cool thing with that, that particular music on that website is it's been scientifically tested to decrease the animal's heart rates. So Through the Dog's Ear was who originally, I think it was called, and then I don't know if this company bought them out or they switched their name, I'm not sure what. But Joshua Leeds is a really good person to Google, and he did a lot of that classical music that was sold through the Dog's Ear. And there's some free downloads, that you can find on it. And it doesn't have to be classical music. It could just be, like the meditative music that I played at the beginning of the call. Um, and took a little bit of a risk. Hopefully the call won't be cut. So that music will then help kind of transmute that energy within yourself, which then transmutes onto your dog. Now, if you had a dog like me that was really, really hyper, then you may have to do things in addition to that to get their energy back down, unless you have a big enough container that you can hold their bouncing off the wall energy and just keep breathing and being with it. Um, until they're able to match it. So one time Seiki was, barking a whole bunch, and I just went in the bedroom and I just started breathing. And I just kept breathing and breathing and breathing and decreasing the tension around us and transforming that energetic field. And then he came into the bedroom and then calmed down and lied down. So it really does work. You gotta be able to be, that container. So if it feels difficult because your dog's just so off the wall, giving them something to chew on, like a Kong or a bully stick, or I'm not a big fan of rawhide, but I know a lot of people use it. I tend to like the grass-fed rawhide if you're going to use it, and use the ones that don't have like the knots on the end of them, so they get less likely to get impacted in the intestines. But bones that they can chew on, and chewing actually decreases um, the dog stress level, and then you can give them that during the meditation, which is what I did with Seiki. I wanted to help, transmute the energy a little bit faster for him, and help him calm down. I don't remember how long we had done that, but it was quite a few months. And then we went into flyball, and of course it was really easy for him to go up here, but I could bring him, back down a lot easier. And your dog ain't gonna listen to you or your cat when they're up here. They're too stressed. So you got to be able to bring the energy down so that you can have that receptivity. I'm curious, Ruth, have you ever experienced like a moment where like you're wanting your cats to do something and they're just not wanting to comply, and then was you took a step back, you realized that it was a result of the energy that was going on? Like, wow, the energy is just really chaotic right now. I'm curious to know if that's ever happened. Definitely comment on Facebook and let me know yes or no. And if it has, maybe tell me a little bit about the experience, because I'd like to tap in off of that on the call. Um, and those of you that are listening to this later, my curiosity for you would be to answer that question as well, because I'm going to see these comments later and I'll want to respond to them. And it really is eye-opening when you can kind of tap into that and be able to see, oh, look, like this is partly what was going on. But then the next thing that we usually do after that is we usually blame ourselves or make ourselves wrong that we weren't in a better state. And that, I think that's a normal thing that, a lot of us as children, we were kind of raised in that realm. The idea is to be able to let that go and to just realize that it is what it is in that moment, and it's okay, and you can make a different choice next time. Yeah, so Ruth said yes for sure, especially with our younger cat. She gets amped up about playtime or gets stuck in mode to chase the older cat. Yeah, so that, you know, I think obviously I'm a dog trainer, so I do believe in training commands. That's not what this call's about, though. But you can do the commands in addition to the energy, and I would recommend that you do, because you're going to transmute things a lot faster, I think. I could be wrong. I mean, there are people who just solely tap in the energy and they don't do any training at all, and the animal's behavior changes. That I don't feel like that's where I've been guided to on this planet, is more of combining those two things together, getting that energy transmuted through yourself, and then letting your pet pick it up, and then allowing that to be a container of training, or just focus on the energy for a little bit and see where it goes. So I'd be curious in those moments when that's happening, Ruth, if you kind of tapped into that playful energy a little bit. So you build that rapport. So you kind of acknowledge it. So it's basic, and you're good at this. So like, like when someone is feeling an emotion, you listen to it, right? So we acknowledge it in our pets, right? And that's creating that rapport. And then from there, when you feel like that, you feel the rapport, it's going to be an intuitive thing. Then you're going to go ahead and try to just transmute that contention or intense energy out, and channel in more calmness. And I don't want you guys to kind of be coming from this place of fix it, which is why I'm telling you, you're going to need to listen to this call many times, or practice it a lot, or even listen to other calls on energy. I have more Facebook Lives recently on this, and it covers different realms because this topic is like endless. If you come from a fix-it standpoint, it's going to feel very controlling. The idea is that you're just in the now with what is, and then you're just like, I'm just going to transmute a higher level energy right now. And that's really all, or a more calm energy. That's really all you're doing. You're not saying there's something wrong here that needs to be made different, which I think for a lot of you is going to be like, what? Because, when we have a behavioral problem with our dogs, we do want to change it. We want to fix it. And I do help people do that. But generally, I try to not come from a high level of fix-itness, because then you're control. So let me give you an example. A while ago, I went through a phase where I was depressed, and there's quite a few days that Seiki didn't get out for a walk. And for those of you that know him, I mean, especially you, Ruth, he's a very high energy dog. So that had to have been really hard for him. So Ruth said, it's definitely hard for me to break that mindset. Yeah, so actually this is more into the energy than anything to do with the mind. So it's really deep. The mind does follow, though, kind of. It's more like we tap into that energetic realm, and then different things happen. I'm going to pause my example for a minute and read you some quotes that might help kind of get a little bit more awareness around it. Of course, it's something that you have to experience multiple times for it to really sink in. So again, this is from Energy Healing for Dogs, and it's by Nicole Wild. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make our world. Buddha. So this one's more of where you're coming from, Ruth. I mean the fix-it mindset. Okay, yeah, I know, man. Trust me, I get it. All of this stuff, guys, I don't want you to sit there and be judging yourself about it and be like, oh, Joanna's so good at this, I'm horrible at it. Trust me, guys. I'm only tapping into this stuff, at the very edge myself. Like, it is an ongoing learning process. It's going to take many lifetimes to really integrate. So if we are coming from that fix-it thought, right? So all that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make our world. So what does our world look like if we come from fix-it? Write that down, Ruth. I want to hear what you have to say. What does your world look like if you come from fix-it? And laugh about it. Make it playful. It doesn't have to be all serious. Yeah, and then those of you that are strong fix it people, journal about that. What does your world look like when you come from fix it? And then, excuse me, there's a huge release for that for me because I know fix it energy is like, you know, if I were to read what I wrote down on that, I would want to release a lot and think my body is releasing it. It means it's all just problems that I'd be responsible for. Oh, yeah, it's so heavy. And that's why I think I started coughing there. Just like, I feel like there's a lot within me that's being released around fix it in my life. So, if we tap more into the energy, the intuitive mind is a sacred gift and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant, has forgotten the gift. So the gift of intuition. And that actually is said by Albert Einstein. So those of you guys who think Albert Einstein was very heady, yeah, he was very, very smart. But he actually really believed in the power of the universe and tapped into that a lot. I'm only just recently learning that. So that intuition, and those of you who are more sciencey, there's actually science that's proven in studies that when you follow your intuition, you are going to create a better end result than if you make a pro and con list. It's pretty crazy. So this one's by Hugh Elliott. You can call it the perfect moment when the universe aligns and the music in your head actually matches the music outside and all is well. So I'm going to say this again. You call it the perfect moment when the universe aligns and the music in your head actually matches the music outside and all is well. And this is by Hugh Elliott. So, Ruth, when you come from that standpoint, is there even a fix it? Is there a problem? Is there anything to be fixed? Would like you to try that quote on. I'm going to read it one more time, and I want you to wonder again, because some of you might need to hear it again to answer this question. Is there something to fix when you are in this energy of this quote? You can call it the perfect moment when the universe aligns and the music in your head actually matches the music outside and all is well. I'll answer that question because that would be really something to kind of tap into. So back to that story about Seiki, because this taps into this. So again, I went through that period of depression. He didn't get walked. And Ruth says, makes me think about the synchronicity with the environment. Yeah. Yeah, so there is a synchronicities happen, magic happens, things that just, you know, you ever notice like when things just flow? Boom, boom, boom. You didn't really have to put any energy into your day and just everything flows. Or even just moments in time. If you haven't had a whole day like that, that's okay. Don't judge yourself. Or if you do judge yourself, fine, you did. Who cares? I'm not judging you. So that energy is just flowing, right? So then it doesn't matter what's going on. Someone's mad, someone's calling you mean or rude. It doesn't charge you because it just flows through you, right? Your dog's barking, it just flows through you. It doesn't trigger you. So I'm walking Seiki, right? Finally, I take him out after this bout of depression. And he starts having panic attacks. I kid you not. Cars drive by and he's having freaking panic attacks. I'm like, what the effing hell? Like, this dog, like, loved being outside. It was like, what is going on? And, you know, a lot of times we want to figure out the why. It's not really important. So I didn't really dive into that. And I did dive into quite a few minutes on Fix It. and that there was a huge problem and that I was part of this problem and I need to be a victim of it and blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm a dog trainer, right? Like, this is easy. Um, but even deeper than that, it's like when I'm in that dog trainer persona, I could be in fix it. Oh, I want you to be calm. Let me make you be calm. Let me fix this. Let me fix this. Let me fix this. So what I actually did with him is I tapped into that quantum field, like Nicole's talking about, or that intuition, that higher power, the energy of the universe. And I started walking him in a way where I was in the presence of the energy around us. And I don't even know if I was even fully aware of it at the time. I actually set an intention where I said, I intend to be present with my dog in the now, or something like that. So instead of like trying to fix the problem or be angry about like, okay, now I got to train my dog during the walk, or that there's something wrong here, blah, 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 which feels very heavy, I decided to be in this place of allowance where I was allowing him to feel whatever he felt. And I was increasing my vibration to be up very, very high, no longer in that victim energy. Oh, poor me, my dog's having panic attacks. Blah, 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 blah. There's something wrong here. Blah, blah, blah. I brought it up here and I channeled white light. I literally visualized white light from the universe going down me and transmuting into him. I did a lot of breathing, and I actually, those of you who've never transmuted white light, it's really easy. You just visualize it. It's really just simple. And I used a lot of breath, through my belly. When we breathe through our chest, we tend to increase the stress in our body. So you want to breathe down low in your belly. If you haven't done yoga and you're interested in learning about that, they will teach you to breathe through your belly. Ruth, you're familiar with breathing through the belly, right? Because I know you've done yoga before, and that could be a way for you to kind of understand this more from an energetic perspective, is tapping into what do I feel kinesthetically in my body when I'm doing yoga, and what energy am I transmuting and feeling from the universe. Yeah, Ruth said she's really familiar with that. So can you explain to me, Ruth, like when you're doing yoga, do you know what I'm talking about? Like what you're feeling in your body, and do you feel any of this energetic synchronicity or fluidity from you and the energetic field around you? And if yes, maybe explain like what comes up for you around that. So as I'm walking, Seiki, I'm transmuting that energy. So I decided, since I'm a dog trainer, I'll do something practical in there too. So I did. Every time a car went by, he got really yummy treats. I don't remember what it was, cheese or chicken. I mean, it was some high value treat. So I did throw in my practicalities of science. But I'm going to tell you, these things work way faster, and you can change things to be at a higher vibration of peace faster when you tap into the energy in addition to doing the training tools. So what I noticed with him, I think it was about 2 months of me doing that. And for some of you, that may be like, oh my God, that's so long. Well, okay, well, that's fine. You can have that thought. When you think of your dog's entire life, that's a really small fraction. And when I think of a lot of behavioral cases that I work with, for a lot of my clients, they're looking at a good 6 months to a year for behavioral change for something that deep. And a lot of that is because that energy stuff, first of all, not everyone is willing to receive that. So I don't always teach all my clients that. I want to be accessible to those that don't want to go in that realm. And that's where I've been. And then the people that are willing, that I tap into it more, and they do seem to have, radical shifts. Like one of my clients, I mean, he couldn't enroll anybody to help him with his dog, and his dog had reactivity issues. And he had to enroll people to work with this. I'm like, you can't solve the problem if you're not working with people. And you can't just deal with people that are just showing up sporadically because it's unpredictable. You're dealing with this chaotic energy. Bam, person fell from the sky. I mean, yeah, they came around the corner while you're walking or through the hallway. But it is basically like, bam, they're here. And now you need to train your dog. What kind of energy are you transmitting in this moment? Oh my God, there's a person. I got to remember the tools that Joanna taught me. And you're probably, not acting like that outside, but internally, most people are feeling that. So when you do a training setup, you know the person's there. You can start transmitting that energy before you do the training or even as you're doing it, right? And a lot of times the energy does shift as you start learning the tools. There is some energetic shift that does just naturally happen to even those people that aren't even aware of that. And then you're able to have that container where you can make those, larger shifts in training. So this person literally wouldn't enroll anybody. Wouldn't ask for help. Had all these stories. So we did an energetic process. And then literally that very day, he then had a new thought pattern that was like, oh, it's actually good to ask for support. I'm actually helping other people when I ask for help. It's a gift that they get. They get a gift when they help me. And then all of a sudden he had a person at one of our training sessions on the call, and he had all these people lined up to help him. And it literally happened within minutes of us doing a process. So, did his dog's behavior transform like that? No, but it could. I think that's challenging. Like I said, with Seiki, it took 2 months. And I think that for some people, it could have taken 6 months to a year because, he was literally panicking. So by adding that energy in there and bringing that, you can make larger shifts in your life. And I would like to ask you guys, have you ever experienced that without even knowing it? Have you noticed that when the energy was different around you, that something just shifted? That all of a sudden was like, oh, wow, that was easy. Has that ever happened to you, Ruth? If it has, share it. And those of you who are watching the replay, definitely let me know, because I would love to know about it. Excuse me. Thinking so many times where I've been in that place, with my dog. Like I remember I went to Goblin Valley. I hiked with my dog by myself, had no GPS, and basically tapped into the energy of the universe. And I still felt some fear. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to feel any fear. You may sometimes just not feel any fear at all if you're really tapped in. But if it feels uncomfortable in the beginning, you could feel some fear with it, and that's okay. So Ruth says, definitely I'm remembering mostly about how I'm able to shift out of a reactive brain space. Yeah. So that is like that reactive brain space, at least I experience that from a lot of fix it, control, making something different. There's something wrong, problem solving. There's a lot of good questions that you can ask to kind of bring yourself out of that. What possibility can I create now? What's going right here? If I tap into the universe, what answers will come to me right now? I wonder how I can receive the support from the universe. And again, like I talked about at the beginning of the call, when I say universe, you can replace it to whatever you want. God, higher power, spirit, um, my higher self, someone else, a role model. It can be whoever you want it to be. Um, but asking questions can really open yourself up to receive whatever's going to come from you. And you're not asking them necessarily in a way to get answers. You can get some answers, but sometimes it's just asking the question and then just seeing how the energy shifts around it and letting the universe guide where it goes from there. Because a lot of times what we're doing is we ask a question, we expect a certain outcome, we get attached to that outcome, and we want it to be a certain way. Whereas really the universe has their way. It's going to go however the way the universe wants it to go. So if you're able to open and receive that, it doesn't mean you can't have those things that you want, but the how may be different than what you actually thought it was going to be. And if you're in that receptive, meditative, energetic space, and you can allow those answers to just flow, your intuition to just flow, and the pathways to just naturally show up so you can have a lot of synchronicities in your life. So, again, for a lot of you, this is probably really new. I would invite you to do like small baby steps on this. If this isn't new for you, if you're into the small percentage of the world that does Reiki, 20 hours a day or, really taps into that energetic field, good for you. That's great. If you're not, good for you too. That's great as well. So if it's new for you, then what is something that can help you tap more into that energy that I'm talking about? And that's what I would ask and see what comes to you. If you feel like you need logic to tell you, you could start with yoga or meditation. You could start with thinking about those times that you've had that feeling before and map it over into the now. But literally just asking that question of, how can I transmute this energy more often? How can I be in a larger state of presence and receptivity? Universe, can you guide me to dance with the magical energies that are transmuted to me and my animals every day? Yeah, that was a good one. Write that one down. I don't even remember what I just said. So allowing that to happen for you, where you're just letting everything to just unfold around you. And again, like if you want to do the training in addition to being in that energy, there's nothing wrong with that. How Guru said it was good. It's a good thing that it's recorded. Yeah, I think I'm going to need to listen to it again too, because there's always more layers to this. And also, just on a side note, Facebook is still giving me this alert that key frame rate is too low. So if anyone knows what that is, let me know. I don't understand it. It seems to be fine. Hopefully the recording works out good so that you guys can watch the replay. And as you're watching it, if you're playing with the energy, tap into what that is and write some comments about it. And then even like if you start experimenting with that outside of this video, come back to this video if you can find it and save the link and write some comments on here and share it, because the more that we comment, the more that I can support you, the more that other people see it, the more we're actually transmitting this information to other people. And it also like helps it integrate on a deeper level as well. And I really would invite you to share this video with others, especially people that are really into this stuff. You can share it with people that might be a little bit more resistant to it too. And they might write some really crazy comments on here, and that's okay. Everyone's allowed to be where they are. Not everyone's going to be receptive to this. Um, but if there are people that you'd be like, oh, I wonder if they will be, you can share it to them. You don't need to be scared. If they're not receptive to it, that's okay. No harm done. Um, and if you would like to work with me, I have multiple avenues where you can do that. I'm definitely doing a lot of live personalized online dog training. I do a lot of private sessions that way. And they're really fun because I'm not coming to the house and, being that added variable that can be really distracting for the dog. Because as much as I am talking about energy, I tend to transmit an energy of excitement for those dogs. Yay, Dwayne, it's treaty time. Woo! I'm excited about the treats. It also prevents me from seeing the dog's behavior, how it really is when no one else is there. And we really want to empower you to train your dog. You can, and you'll do your homework and record it so we can screen share it, which is really cool. So I can make sure you're doing the work when I'm not around and understanding it really well. So there's some benefits of the online. So definitely, if that's something of interest to you, you can click on, the links below to schedule a free phone chat with me or to look at, the services that I offer. In Northeast Ohio, I do have in-person training. I can come to your house. Where I also have a place in Chagrin Falls where you can come to me. I'm going to be doing training at Pet People, which has a really good vibe. I think it's a great energetic vibe because they sell a lot of holistic foods or on the high end. So on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I can do in person there. So if you're out in the Chagrin Falls area, that's a great place, that we could meet if you want. And I'm also going to be doing a lot of workshops. So kind of giving you the lowdown of everything. In Burton, I'll be doing a few free workshops up at the library. Those things will be, advertised in the area of Middlefield. And I don't know, some of the workshops that I'm doing might show up on Facebook Lives again. I did one last week up at the Learning Cafe. Might be doing some more up there. So you'll be seeing me around everywhere, working on letting people know that I'm here and I can help. So a lot of different ways you can get in touch with me. And then I am at this time still planning on doing the Facebook Lives on Wednesday. Normally they've been at 2 in the past. Will they stay at that time? To be continued. Seems to be that I've been pulled into other realms. Like today I got to take my daughter to the doctor for allergy testing around that time. So if you like the dog skills, then you can always, message me or look on Facebook and see when I'm going to magically appear. But definitely I'd put as a reminder that it's 2:00. And you can just double check the time and see if it's gotten bumped around. All right, guys. Well, you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope that I see more comments popping on here and this video getting shared. I think it's a really amazing thing to learn with our dogs, and it's a very peaceful experience. Have a great day.